So is it possible that The Rock is just not telling us the full story? That he's actually sick? Things continue to get worse for The Rock. In case you thought he'd already lost a ton of weight, wait till you see him now. People are saying perhaps he has cancer, he has no energy, his face is gaunt, he looks skinnier than ever. And so is it possible that The Rock is just not telling us the full story? That he's actually sick? That what happened to his circumflex artery is worse than what people let on to?
I've known Emily for almost a decade now. I feel like we've known each other for a lifetime. I've known Benny for 6-7 years now as well, because we were talking about doing the Smashing Machine in 2019. Working with the cast was amazing. Working with the real fighters was amazing. When you get together and you want to make a film that hopefully people will resonate with, and it feels like they are.
When you see this video, the first thing you're going to notice is how small his head is, his face. He's lost his fullness. It's almost like he's gone or he's sick. He's a cancer patient. You can see more wrinkles than ever before. His eyes are bugging out of his head. And so he appears to have lost a significant amount of pounds. Now, when you get older, as you age, fat oftentimes comes from your face first. And so when you do lose weight, you're going to notice a lot of it from your face. And so you might in fact be at a healthy body weight, but your face looks thinner than ever before. But I want you to pay attention to his physique. Now, he is wearing a suit, but he doesn't have a shirt underneath. And so you can see the cleavage, the chest running down into his abs. And so remember, The Rock was what, 270 pounds. He's huge. He's showing his cleavage. If you're wearing a shirt like this, would The Rock not show some musculature in between? It appears that his chest is now flat. I mean, I sound like I'm talking about a female, but we're talking about The Rock. There is no pectoral mass whatsoever. It's very, very small. Now, granted, he's not lost it all yet. But in comparison to only a few months ago, it's significantly smaller. Normally, his chest would bulge through, his delts would be capped, his face would be more round, and what I really notice is his lack of energy. He's no longer his former self. The Rock, always, every single time you saw him, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's having a good time, he's upbeat, he's motivating, he's inspiring, but right now, it looks like he's struggling to get through an interview. And all I can think of was when I used to diet for bodybuilding competitions. You might understand that when you go in a calorie deficit, your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, it's going to go down. Your body is conserving on calories. I remember driving in a car and thinking, I don't have the energy to shoulder check. Literally. To change lanes, to drive, I didn't want to look back. It required too much energy. And so imagine if The Rock is starving himself, of which I personally believe that he is. I think that he's so desperate to be called a method actor that he'll do anything to play the part of the role. With his last movie being so successful, people are praising him, even though it hasn't even come out yet. They're saying what a great actor The Rock actually is. And so he's gone from being a Hollywood superstar and action movie hero and so on, to now wanting to be taken seriously as a method or quality actor. He's perhaps sad enough. The circumflex artery beginning to be closed off, the cardiologist perhaps saying, look, Rock, you can't abuse steroids forever. If you continue this, you're not going to live very much longer. He had to do a complete pivot. He had to change. What he's doing now is he's taken on the role of a chicken man, an old, elderly man in his 70s. Whose best friend is a chicken. You can't play that role, that of a 70-year-old, elderly, retired individual, if you look like The Rock. It simply wouldn't work. And so we saw Shia LaBeouf. He does amazing things with his body in order to play a role. Pulling out his tooth to play a certain character. And then we saw him go on SARMs to bulk up to a 220-pound boxer. And he's back down to perhaps 165 pounds. And so perhaps The Rock wants to follow in his footsteps and will do anything. And so some actors, they play their role so seriously, like perhaps in the Stephen King, the guy that played Thinner, he had to lose like 100 pounds and be emaciated. We've also seen the guy who plays Batman. I don't know his name, but I know that he once starved himself down to, I think it was in the 120s, eating 500 calories a day to play that role. And so for The Rock to properly play that role, he can't be 225 pounds of muscle. It wouldn't work. And so perhaps as he's playing the chicken man, he's cut out all the chicken. He's not eating protein. He's on a 500, perhaps 1,000 calorie diet, and he's purposely losing all his muscle. I mean, we saw Cali Muscle. Remember that guy? How much muscle he once had? And remember, he said he was 100% natural. I made a natty or not, and he got mad at me for talking about other men, where I said, hey, you really think this guy's natural? Only later to know that he admitted to using and abusing performance-enhancing drugs and getting a heart attack. And following that, he went on the watermelon diet. I mean, did you see this guy? I think he was drinking breast milk after that. All kinds of crazy things. And he lost a significant amount of muscle. Perhaps The Rock is thinking, if I lose all this weight, all this muscle, I can live longer than last time. And so when your calories are too low, your body has hardly any energy whatsoever. Just talking in an interview, you're going to be tired. You're not going to want to speak as well. And you are going to look sickly. In comparison, if you're well fed, you're perhaps taking caffeine, you're going to have a bundle of energy. And so The Rock, he looks emaciated. He looks like he's not eating enough. His energy levels are in the toilet. And so this is his now appearance. And so this is exactly what you would expect if somebody was on a very low calorie diet, not eating enough protein, calories, and perhaps dieting for a bodybuilding competition. The only problem with this is he's not doing it for bodybuilding competition. He's losing both muscle and fat. Look at the comments. Tons of comments, people worried about The Rock. He seems different, not just appearance, but his energy and speech seems different. You act like he's 80 years old, he's 53. Yeah, and there lies the problem. He's 53 and suddenly he's acting like he's 80, a frail old man. It happened in a matter of months. How is that the case? Is he sick? Is it cancer? Why is he looking and acting like this? He looks sickly. I think he just got off gear. He got off the roids because of his heart. I mean, I thought everyone said that you could take steroids and stop them and then you keep those gains. Like, isn't that what you guys said about Hussein? I mean, you understand how ironic this is? The Rock stops taking steroids and loses 60 pounds of muscle. Hussein stops and puts on 20. Literally, the evidence shows it. He's lost weight for an upcoming movie where he plays an old man in his 70s whose only friend is a chicken. Lost so much weight, he'll fill out again. Nah, I think large Rock is done. Slender, pencil-like Rock is the new thing. Hopefully he also makes changes and stands for something instead of changing his stance to please everyone. I mean, that's a good point. Just because you stop performance-enhancing drugs doesn't mean you're going to lose 50 pounds of muscle in a matter of months. It doesn't happen that quickly. I mean, it's safe to say that most people at this point don't believe that The Rock was a lifetime natural. They know that he abused steroids. But just because you abuse steroids and you stop doesn't mean you lost all that muscle. Now, maybe that's what people think. And so perhaps that's why I get accused of lying about my HRT cycle each and every day. I always tell people I'm on 140 milligrams of testosterone a week. And so people just can't believe I'm only on 140 milligrams a week. Now, listen, I was on higher doses in the past, oftentimes more than 10 times more. But even if you're only on HRT, you're going to keep some of that muscle, perhaps half. You shouldn't expect to lose everything. The Rock seems to be withering away, but I don't believe it's just from stopping to use steroids. You have to, on top of that, stop eating enough calories, stop eating enough protein. Perhaps he's doing a ton of cardio. But I do believe he's doing this purposely as a method actor to fully embrace this role. I think he's starving himself because he's starving for admiration from his fans. He no longer was getting the block office hits. We saw this happen with Black Adam. He was even lying about how great the movie was performing when it really wasn't. He's desperate to please his fans. And so if it takes him starving, perhaps losing 100 pounds in order to do that, well, he's going to do what it takes. I pray The Rock is okay. It's so sad to see him clearly going through some type of medical issues. The Rock is now a stone, well, better than being a tombstone, which is what would have happened if he continued to abuse steroids. There's a lot of pain in those eyes. Hope he fully recovers soon. He still looks unwell to me. Damn, The Rock suddenly looks 80. And so what I see, it's not pain in his eyes, it's lack of nutrition and calories. When you don't eat enough, Eventually you lose muscle, you lose fat as well, and you become emaciated. This is why many people suffer from losing 2/3 of the muscle when using Ozempic. Many people call it Ozempic face, Ozempic butt, Ozempic this, Ozempic that. These people are abusing this drug. Just because you take Ozempic, it doesn't mean you need to lose muscle. The problem is in the dosage. Now, if you want to lose weight and you're too hungry, you can of course take GLP Max. Now, this can help you reduce your appetite by 28%. If that's not strong enough, you can take Ozempic or Tirzepatide. I've already done a video on this, but what I think the problem is many people are starting with too strong of a dose or they're titrating up too quickly. If you're not hungry ever and you can't eat, you're of course going to lose muscle. If you don't have the energy to go to the gym, to go for a walk, to train hard, you're not eating enough and you need to lower the dose. Please talk to your doctor about it. Now, if you want to get prescribed these medications, click the link in the description, contact AlgoRx, very, very cheap prices, about half of other HRT clinics. And these are prescription medications prescribed to you by a doctor. It's not some backyard pharmacy site. It's literally pharmaceutical grade, prescribed legally from doctors. And so if you're interested in these things, or Cialis, Viagra, Telmisartan, and so on, click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off. Personally, this is what I truly think. I don't think The Rock is sick. I don't think he has cancer. I think he's starving himself to play that role. I think that he cares so much about being the best actor possible, which is what The Rock does. He wants to be the best of the best. He's done it his entire life, that he'll do anything. And that includes starving himself for months to not just lose the body fat, but also to lose the muscle to play the role of an actor 20 years his senior. I'm hoping he isn't sick. I mean, it's possible, but I think the more likely case is The Rock is simply over dieting to play that role. Hopefully, once the role is finished, he can go back to eating any calorie surplus, put on some more muscle, and only take HRT, not do abusive doses, for example, growing up to 250 pounds plus, and live longer and healthier than last time. If you're trying to be healthy, and this includes The Rock, rather than abusing steroids, try Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum. Remember, it's Ajuga turkistanica from Uzbekistan. It's not the cyanosis plant from China. This is the best of the best. And it's backed by a money-back guarantee as well as a $20 gift card. And so if you're interested, click the link in the description, code Greg, 15% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo, like the video if you like to watch one of those two bloops. Don't forget about the cookbook, perhaps the most famous cooking cookbook in the world for people who are bodybuilders. And if you're interested, of course, code Greg 15% off, as well as all the different supplements. I'm ready to do a bike race. I'm taking Hussein's moat. 2 scoops, going to have me race harder than last time. And of course, we have out now G Focus Limitless. If you're looking to focus harder than last time, perhaps you're studying for exams, you need to concentrate better, this is a supplement for you. And until next time, I am out.